Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to bring you guys up to speed on where we're at on the Toretto Charger and the Supra. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to today's video. Probably haven't seen these cars in a while. Both cars were out at an event, a scheduled event that we had on the books for quite a long time. If you haven't seen the Charger on the dyno, you really should check out that video right now. Some were a little disappointed in the numbers, the horsepower numbers being a little on the low side, but we are more than pleased. One of the things that we learned was there was an issue that we didn't address early on, and we decided to make some changes. And that's why it's here. That's why the blower is off of it. These two cars, man, I swear, they're so iconic. We haven't really showed these cars off together yet. It's something that we've got lots of plans to do. We're in our new building finally. We're excited about it. With the move, still a lot of things that we have to do to address the new facility, and that's cleaning up all the old junk from the old facility. Unbelievable how much crap one can collect over 10, 11 years. So we're going through all that old stuff, and we're selling it, and we're throwing stuff away. We had some issues with this car, but I'll get into that in a minute. If you were wondering why this video started the way it did, we're going to get into that in a second. This Mark IV is actually a car that we have plans to build. That car is going to look exactly like this car. A lot of you have asked how much is it going to cost, to build one of these, and so it just makes sense. Since we had to order a new decal kit for this car, we decided to order two. And so we've got another kit coming for this, and we're going to start all the body work and paint work on this. We have our body kit going on this. We have the wheels ordered. They're en route. We're going to build another version of this out of this. This is an NA car. It is a Targa car. It is a manual. We're going to get into all of that on a future video and why we can't sell this car. We've got some commitments. We're going to hold on to this one for a while, but it makes sense for us to build another one, and so that's what we're doing.
So we have wheels, we have the kit, we have a new motor.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff that's already here that nobody's seen yet, because we're hoarding parts until we have more to show for it.
Yeah, so this car doesn't even have the proper seats in it.
No.
We actually secured a set of original seats. Is it going to be an exact replica of this car? Probably not to the same detail under the hood as this car. It's going to be a fun car to build alongside this car. There is an opportunity for us to build multiple versions of this car. Scattered amongst all these cars in this shop right now, there are a few other Mark IV Supras we've secured, and we haven't gone into a great detail with you guys about what those cars are going to be used for. Just be mindful of the fact that we may end up having to build a few iterations of this car. One of the issues, what was it, Alex? The backfire plate.
Yeah, the backfire valve.
Something that a lot of these guys put on blower motors to prevent any blower damage or even valve train damage.
I would say that this used to be an old, even my old full-on Hemi next door. Mm-hmm. It has a burst panel in it. Every blower manifold should have a burst panel in it. Mm-hmm.
After it came back from the dyno session, we immediately ordered it. Also, we wanted to reverse the actual pulley to show the bolts that look like a Gatling gun, which was seen on the very first car in the first movie, that staged motor that was in the engine bay of the original Toretto Charger. It had that Gatling gun kind of pulley where it had all the exposed bolts. We wanted to achieve that, so we've got that en route, and we're going to make those changes to it. A lot of work we had to do just to make a car that was never real, look real. So here it is.
This is our BDS backfire valve. So this is going to protect scared little children when you're next to the blower hat and it goes to start up and intake backfires on you. This will prevent that from happening. It'll also save the roots in the blower from any damage if there is an intake backfire, because it can reverse the rotation.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
And that's where it literally F's everything up. That could get sucked into the valve train, go to the piston. It could cause a hell of a lot more damage for a $60, $70 valve.
Yeah, you guys, we haven't done a lot of blower motors. When the guys over at the dyno session, these guys, that's all they do there. And when they saw that we didn't have this, they said, this is just such a cheap insurance policy to ensure you're not going to have permanent damage going on. And there's a lot to break in there. This is just a preventative thing to help
Yeah, for the ones that make like a ton more boost, they have a burst plate. So the burst plate is different from this. It literally shatters.
Oh,
so
really?
then you'll have essentially a vacuum leak because it'll be out of the manifold.
As we remove the supercharger, you can see where these two are located right here on the manifold. Now, if the explosion, fuel and air is lit off in the manifold here, it'll blow these panels off, thus relieving the pressure.
It shatters the plate so that way you know you have an issue.
Yeah.
So it makes you stop and then figure out what's going on, why that caused it to shatter.
How do you adjust these? Do you adjust these?
This is torqued to spec according to their recommendations.
On this motor?
Yeah. And then these are essentially just like valve springs.
Yeah. That's what it
So
looks like,
when we hit a certain amount of boost, this will open. They're rated for boost. Oh, and the other thing is that before we took it all apart and we saw inside, because of those intake backfires, it was literally pushing the air into these sides.
Oh, really?
So if you looked inside,
Yeah.
the gaskets were already blown out.
Oh, no
so
way.
it was just a matter of time before it blew out the gasket here, and then we have a vacuum leak again and take
Because
all
we
the
heard
shit
it.
apart again.
We
Yeah.
actually heard it backfire a couple times on us, and we got a little nervous about it. Hopefully that resolves the issue. So again, if you guys haven't seen the video of this car on the dyno, it really is a sight to behold. This thing is an absolute animal of a car. Some of you guys were disappointed that the horsepower number was as low as it was, but be mindful of the fact that this is a car that we had every intent of taking to car events, car shows. Do we really want it to make 1,300 horsepower? Not really. You know, this was, and I'm going to be blatantly honest, this car really does scare the shit out of me because of the throttle response. You barely hit that gas pedal and it chirps tires. You know, the last thing we want to do is give it just an enormous amount of power and worry about heating the brakes up so bad that you can't stop.
I want to touch on the point that in the movie, the car was 900 horsepower of pure Detroit muscle. All those numbers back in the day was all crank horsepower.
Yeah, that's true.
We're at like a 875, 890 crank horsepower right now at 8 to 9 PSI. So we're right there.
950
941 wheel torque.
Wheel torque, and that's wheel torque. So,
yeah, so we're
crank torque is probably
it's
crazy.
Stupid. It's got to be near 1100 crank torque. That's insane. We're already near the horsepower number that they rated back in 2001, and all current manufacturers are still rating horsepower based on crank. So we're within that spec.
Right.
Now, this setup can make 1,000 wheel, but at 1,000 wheel, our torque rate is just going to be uncontrollable for us, I think,
Yeah,
on the street.
And be mindful of the fact, guys, we want to share this car with as many of you as we can, and that means attending multiple events. And something that we haven't gone into great detail with is the scheduled use of this car. We really are going to have to hand the keys over to some people that are going to move it around, and the last thing we want to do is make it a challenge for anybody to control. We're keeping the horsepower numbers down so that we could actually feel safe in driving it. A lot of money has gone into this build, a lot of time and effort. You know, we're kind of learning as we go, and we're sharing that with you guys. If you've got some, you know, real legitimate experience building these types of cars and you want to chime in, by all means, tell us about your builds. Tell us about the challenges that you ran into when you built a gasser that makes 1,000 horsepower. By all means, those people should chime in because you've done it, you've been there. We haven't. We're excited about sharing this with you, and I keep saying this. I want to really go out and do a fun video with these two cars. And that leads us to another little bit of a challenge that we ran into. Both of these cars went to a scheduled event. If you're wondering why in the beginning of this video you saw the decals coming off of this car and the side skirts coming off, well, that's because it got damaged. The company ultimately is paying for it. You know, it's just sad because this whole thing could have been avoided. The strap was in the wrong location of the rear tire, and that strap for about a 60-mile journey put pressure on the skirts and bowed the skirts, broke the paint, cracked the skirts.
Cracked the stickers, chipped the doors.
A lot of damage that some would think, oh, you could just do a quick touch-up. Remember, going back to the videos showing the amount of work that went into putting this paint on the car. It was a multi-stage process, and you can't just do a quick blow-in. Both sides of the car are getting repainted, all new graphics. The graphics are $2,000. Just the graphics are $2,000 on this car. We had to remove all the graphics. The last thing we're going to do is mask graphics and put paint over it. There's just no way. I'll share some of the damage with you guys. See, the skirt kind of broke away, damaging the paint. There's no masking this. This is literally having to redo the sides of this car. And that's essentially what we're going to do. On the edge of the door, you know, all of this damage occurred as a result of this skirt. The toe strap came down and was laying up against this skirt, and it was bouncing up and down on the back of the car hauler and the entire drive. When it finally arrived at its location, this thing was sitting way far out. All the damage to the paint occurred. There's actually damage on both sides of this car. The strap was also in the wrong location, and it hit the bottom of this skirt. You can see here where it cracked the actual skirt, and it was touching the bottom of the door, and it chipped the paint here. This is all paint chipping, and when you open up the door, you could see all the inside damage as well. It just really sucks, man. People don't really have any idea of what's involved in applying this paint to a car. The amount of work that you have to do. It's not just blending a little bit of spot paint in there. There's no way, you know. Especially knowing how much work and money went into this build, the last thing we're going to do is Mickey Mouse a repair. I'm sure the guy had no idea he was going to cause, you know, at minimum $4,500 worth of damage. Just the graphics alone being $2,000, and then, you know, painting both sides of the car, blending the paint. It's impossible to do. So that's why you have to paint both sides of the car. Again, it was a careless mistake, and unfortunately that mistake is easy $4,500, $5,000 repair. Yeah, we're hoping we don't have to replace these skirts. I'm hoping we could just repair them.
Yeah, because now we need all those graphics all over. I mean, we might need those all over again anyway, I guess.
Right, yeah.
If they're repainting the skirt, then...
All the graphics
why couldn't
are
it just
being
happen
replaced.
to that? Like, f***ing this up down there, it's black.
I know, super
Like,
easy. Yeah, this is the
blend
one
that
car
down
you don't
and
want to.
you're good.
This is the one car you don't want to damage because of the multi-stage paint process that goes into this car. It's just
Anything candy, pearl,
Yeah.
super metal flake, you're just...
It was such a bummer. So freaking disappointing.
Yeah.
I mean, it just ruined my day. It ruined my day. And how long is it going to be down for?
Yeah.
You know, this car is going to be down for a couple weeks. Having the repair done to the skirts and repair to the edge of the door and the jam.
Well, and like all this time, we're like, oh yeah, the car's ready, cool. When's the charger gonna be ready? Oh, the charger's ready. Okay, now this is f***ed up. It's like, what do we...
We want to put together a video of these two cars, these two icons of the movie industry. We want to put these two cars together and show them off together. And it just seems like there's always something happening.
Yeah.
Hey, but
It's never easy.
we're in our new building.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick. And yes, we do have an Eclipse. I don't know where it is, but all the graphics are coming in at once. So we have graphics, two sets of graphics for the Supra. We have a set of graphics for the Too Fast, Too Furious Skyline, which is sitting over there. And you're going to see a video on the quarter panel removal and the prep for the C West kit going on that car here soon. You know, there's so many other cars that we're going to share with you guys and so many other builds. I can't wait to do that.
Yeah, we need these to stop having stuff happen to them so we could move on to the next one. Finish that car and then finish the next. Like, there's 3 cars in line that are to be finished for this whole series, I guess. And
well, and I think the Too Fast, Too
something keeps
Furious
halting.
Skyline, that's going to be fun.
yeah.
We haven't done any driving video footage of this car yet. You thought it was pretty violent on the dyno. In real life, man, it scares the shit out of you. It's scary.
Yeah, you're
But-
feeling it in your chest.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy, like being driver in this car with that next to you. And the only way you can compare is if you're rolling two-step the entire time to be any bit of loud as that. This is so subdued. Like,
I know.
at idle, it's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
That thing is just a monster.
It's ridiculous.
So.
We're going to go ahead and break this thing down. If you like what you've seen, please give us a thumbs up and tell us what you think we should do with these cars. I would love to hear in comments how you'd like to see these cars be used and what kind of video content you'd like to see come from these two cars together. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and if you'd pass this video on to others, we'd certainly appreciate it. A lot more to follow in the coming weeks, coming months. You're going to be blown away with what you see come out of this shop. So, thank you.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't know what to do with my hand.
I can talk about how it used to scare the shit out of me all the time, and now it likely shouldn't.
Let's do it right in front of the car.
Can I just put it on here?
Yeah, just put it on the hood.
Okay. They'd love that.
Oh my God, are you kidding?
Oh my God.